I still got a lot of work to do, but I wanted to make this video before I got too tired. I've had lawyers tell me that if there's a court order for me to turn over customer data, I'm going to have to. I've got business owners telling me you can't violate court orders. Yes, you can. I'm saying this to all the companies out there, all the business owners. I'm doing it. I will. I've done it. I'm going to do it. I will never abide by any court order, any government, any official to turn over unfettered blanket customer data to the government. I don't care what you have. I don't care if you have a warrant come into my house. I don't understand when people say, all these business owners, lawyers say that you have to. Okay, if I don't, or what? What's going to happen? What are you going to do to me? You're going to take everything from me? You're going to put me out on the street? Go ahead. Do whatever you have to do, because I'm telling all of you, all you government officials, everyone out there, you will never get me to turn over customer data. You can't go in the back door. I've wiped it clean. Spoliation of evidence? You want to, what is it? Lawyers tell me you can't, that's called spoliation of evidence. You can go to jail. I've spoiled it. I've destroyed it. There's nothing. You will find nothing. You will never, ever get me to turn over customer data, and you'll never get my customer data. Here's another message for all. So, by the way, I want to say to all, the followers, my customers, people who support me, I've seen your message, and I appreciate it where you send these messages to the Second Amendment gun rights organizations like the NRA or the Firearm Policy Coalition. There's all these organizations out there that you're sending these. Sending it. I see it on your stories, and I don't understand what stories are yet. I haven't figured that out. But I get these stories that you send me where there's mentions, and you say at FPC or at the NRA. How come you're not helping this guy? And I'm here to tell you, I appreciate the sentiment. They're not going to help me. So my beef isn't with the government. Mr. Guns and Gear, if you look at his video, he did a video where the ATF is going door to door asking for the FRT triggers. And Mr. Guns and Gear talks about the ATF and how the big bad government is, they're out there. There's, they got us on the watch list and everything, right? I've got no beef with the government. My beef has never been with the government. My beef is with the rats and the finks that are in our ranks, all right? The gun dealers or the gun rights organizations, they're behind closed doors. They're giving the government all this data. I know they are, and I'm gonna prove it to you guys. Well, I've already proved it with the 4 other companies, Rainier Arms, Rockslide USA, ADP Builder, and Armor Alley. They turned over all their customer data so they could get out of the lawsuit. And all these companies that are in this other lawsuit with the state of New York, with Letitia James, they're all up there cutting deals. And the other thing I wanted to say too is I was willing to negotiate. I want to be part of that deal up in New York, but you know what that deal entails? All they want is the customer data. Not only that, they don't care. Once we turn over the customer data, they don't care what we do. They don't care if I continue selling. All they want is that customer data. And I'm telling you guys, they are going for a gun grab. They're putting their ducks in a row, and they're going for that gun grab. The only reason they already have the serialized guns, right? They have those form the background check. That's what they call the background check. Bullshit. That's a registry, right? Because when they do the background check, that's not the end of it. They attach that gun to that background check by putting the make, model, and serial number of your gun on that form, and they keep it. The government has those forms. They didn't care about that, but then they were informed. They weren't aware of this self-built society, this self-built community of firearms that we've been doing since the colonial days. They were not aware of that, but once they were made aware of it, then all of a sudden they needed those guns serialized. They need to know before they go for that gun grab, they need to know where all the guns are. And a lot of guns out there are being made with 3D printers, the 80 percenters. They want those serialized because they're setting their ducks up in a row for that gun grab. I know it sounds crazy. I don't even like talking conspiracy shit, but this I do know. But I want to get back to Mr. Guns and Gear, who talked about the ATF going door to door, and he went on, and all these other podcasters do the same thing, right? But here's the one question when I watch these videos. Go back and watch it. The ATF is there, so, and hey, they knock on the door, they approach the guy or the woman or whatever, and they're like, hey, it came to our attention that you bought one of these triggers, and if you just the force reset triggers or the wide open triggers, right, the FRTs, it came to our attention you're in possession of these triggers, and if you would just turn it over to us, we'll call it even. No one's going to be in trouble. We just want to get these triggers back, right? Well, the question going through my mind that no one is asking, right, is, I mean, like I said, everyone's bitching about how the government's coming to your door. My bitch is, how did you get this intel? Where did you get this intel from? And I don't want to hear about the government culling all this information, you know, the NSA and all that. The resources it would take to find out every person in the US that's ordering these gun parts is phenomenal. It would just cost too much. They're getting this intel from people within our ranks, from the gun companies. I know this. Well, we know it from the 4 companies I just mentioned: ADP Builder, Rockslide USA, Armor Alley, and Rainier Arms. All these companies are doing it. They're profiting off you. They're taking your money. Then behind the scenes, they're cutting deals with the government. And that's a bunch of bullshit. And that's what I want to expose. We don't need to worry about the government. It's the people within our ranks, within our gun culture, that are turning us in. They're collaborators. They're finks. They're narcs. That's all I got to say.